My name is Martin Klimke. I'm the Vice Provost for Academic Policies and Governance, Associate Professor of History, and also have the honor of serving as PI for the Humanities Research Fellowship for the Study of the Arab World. So the fellowship program is really conceptualized as a wonderful opportunity for scholars at various stages in their career to take full advantage of NYU Abu Dhabi's intellectual and institutional infrastructure. So the fellowship is designed to give people the chance to work with NYU Abu Dhabi colleagues, pool their ideas in a very intellectually stimulating environment, and foster research and research networks during the time at NYU Abu Dhabi. We have scholars who are at a relatively junior stage in their career who have just completed their PhDs. We have people in the mid stages of their career and senior people who come to Abu Dhabi for specific research projects because they see that the time with colleagues at NYU Abu Dhabi, both in the arts and humanities and in the social sciences, is fruitful for them, as well as having access to the primary sources in the field, in the region, or the facilities and collections at NYU Abu Dhabi's library. So the idea of the fellowship for especially junior applicants is that we are taking them essentially as a postdoc position. They get 2 years with NYU Abu Dhabi in which they can develop their manuscript, so rewrite their manuscript, submit it for publication. We support this through a variety of workshops, both with faculty and external editors, and then really complete that manuscript and launch the second project as part of their time with us. We also provide them with the opportunity to teach in NYU Abu Dhabi and get involved in classroom or curricular activities in multiple ways. We've had fellows, teaching their own independent classes during regular semesters or J-term, and or come to classes as guest speakers and participants in a variety of program research seminars. So it's really a wonderful opportunity for especially junior colleagues to launch their career in an environment that is very, very supportive, very much featuring the kinds of expertise that they are interested in being in the Arab world at the same time. So the senior scholars that we have attracted are leading scholars and experts in the fields of Arab studies, Middle Eastern and Islamic studies in general from all over the world. They usually come to us for 1 year, take a sabbatical, and focus on a specific project that they're working on. This can be, again, pretty much text-driven, writing up their manuscript. This can also take the form of going into the fields. We have colleagues, going into the desert, researching the Bedouins, going to various local archives here in and around Abu Dhabi or the larger region. So it's really conceptualized, as the most productive time period for a senior scholar to take away from its home university to come to NYU Abu Dhabi and get immersed in the intellectual landscape that we can offer here as part of the fellowship program. The major achievements, I think, of the fellowship programs are reflected not only in the intellectual ties and the connections that people forge while being at NYU Abu Dhabi, based on which we have a lot of, academic networks that manifest themselves in conferences and workshops, but also in the actual research output. So we see, for example, a program that we've been running as part of the fellowship on falconry, the images of falcons and falconry, in art historical periods from the medieval ages to the contemporary period. Annalise Trupato, one of our fellows, has been very successful at gathering images from a variety of archival collections all over the world, feeding them into a central database in collaboration with a variety of research projects, also turning her work in collaboration with other scholars into scholarly publications, as well as being active in the classroom, teaching now for the second time a class on falconry with our students here at NYU Abu Dhabi. We've had other projects as well that deal with OPEC, for example. Giuliano Garavini has been a fellow for quite some time here with us, developing a collection on OPEC, the minutes of OPEC, as well as the institutional history and dynamics of OPEC, the very first history of OPEC, academic history of OPEC from that perspective that was just recently published. We've had a long-standing relationship with the fellow with the name of Marcel Kupershuk, who is an expert in Bedouin poetry in collaboration with the Library of Arabic Literature, has published a variety of volumes in that particular area. Alan Fromhertz, a scholar of the Middle East, had, while he was a senior fellow here with us, convened a conference, The Gulf in Global Perspective, that resulted in a landmark book publication. So as you can see, the fellowship is very diverse in terms of its themes, but the goal is, at the end of the day, to establish these particular academic networks and ties that then lead to research output that manifests itself in a variety of formats, most oftentimes, in our cases, in our disciplines, in the book or article format. So one of the major advantages of the fellowship is that it's thematically very open and inclusive in terms of bringing together colleagues from a variety of disciplines that work or find some access to the Arab world broadly defined. We've had fellows who focus on the Islamic thought and culture, stretching all the way back to the medieval period. We have had colleagues that work on very contemporary topics, gender in Islam, the history of OPEC, all sorts of things that tie to the Arab world, loosely defined, are collected as part of the fellowship project from a variety of disciplinary backgrounds. We've had art historians, we had linguists, we've had historians, we had social scientists. All fellows come together under the general thematic overarching umbrella, the Arab world, and that could mean that their research focus is tied to the GCC region, the Gulf as a whole, or Middle East and South Africa and South Asia, as well as North Africa. So we're very inclusive in terms of understanding that Manasseh in particular has been a region that was very, very intercultural throughout history, so there's no strict emphasis on Arabic as the spoken language that has to be tied to your research, but really the beauty of cultural and historical diversity of the region as a whole, broadly defined, and its diaspora all over the world. So one of the things that we are doing for our fellows that is quite unique is that we enable them to hold micro-workshops. So micro-workshops are conceptualized as an opportunity for our fellows to get the expertise of senior colleagues in the field on a topic of their choice connected to their research. In practice, we enable them to invite 3 to 4 distinguished people in the field to work with them closely over the course of 1 or 2 days, to have them review their manuscript, have them give presentation in connection with our faculty here, host a full-fledged workshop that really benefits their topic and elevates their topic also to the attention of a larger international academic audience. So the results of these kind of micro-workshops have been subsequent conference projects, edited special issues of journals, or edited volumes as such. In general, they've always tremendously benefited the fellow as such, because this particular individual attention and focused work environment here has really been one of the most outstanding hallmark features of the fellowship program. The idea of fellows coming to NYU Abu Dhabi is not only that they establish local networks with faculty and our students and postdocs across the university, but also benefit from the long-standing ties that we have with other universities in the region and beyond. So we've had a variety of relationships with regard to specific themes, for example, with the Center for the Study of World Religion at the Harvard Divinity School, or the Berkeley Center for the Study of Religion in California, that are trying to find ways in which to host conferences, joint publications, or fellowship programs to really tie the fellowship program here at NYU Abu Dhabi into a larger international network of academic dialogue. One of our former fellows, for example, Jan Loeb, successfully submitted a grant application to the European Research Council on the image and perception in historical perspective of the Quran in Europe, and he's now established ties with 5 major universities in Europe that he connected to the fellowship program. So the idea really of the fellowship program is of a platform or hub for the study of the Arab world broadly conceived, and is trying to bring in especially junior scholars to have them benefit from these platforms and infrastructures that we have generated, and be an attraction point for senior scholars in the same vein. An integral part of the fellowship program is also its monthly research seminar that is hosted in cooperation and co-sponsorship with a variety of academic programs. There are Crossroads Studies program, the History program, and a variety of programs in the Arts and Humanities and the Social Science here. Fellows have the opportunity to present to faculty their work, engage in dialogue and feedback about their individual results that they have presented, but also the opportunity to integrate other external colleagues into that monthly research seminar, which has been one of the sort of focal points of the study of the Arab world at NYU Abu Dhabi, deeply integrated into the academic landscape of the various programs that are connected to it. We have a variety of colleagues across the various divisions that work on the Arab world, that have a variety of connections to local scholars, artists that are coming to our events. So it's very beneficial for fellows to absorb themselves, in that particular intellectual landscape at NYU Abu Dhabi. And we're really here to forge these connections, to strengthen these ties in order to enable a truly international dialogue of international research collaboration. So applications for the fellowship program come in on an annual basis from all over the world. We typically have a large pool of applications, and that makes the fellowship very competitive in terms of a selection process. But the selection is done through a review committee of our faculty here, and we usually try to engage with scholars from all over the world. We've had leading scholars from the top universities in North America and Europe, as well as the Middle East as well. And we're really trying to forge a pool of fellows that is also speaking to each other in terms of their thematic interests and tying very deeply into the established research concentrations here at NYU Abu Dhabi.